Talk to Sophia Russack, a researcher at the Centre for European Policy Studies. Sophia, welcome to the programme. For those watching outside Europe, perhaps scratching their heads, wondering what all this is about, why has the far right done so well?
First of all, if you allow me, I would like to say that the reference to the far-right surge that's often been made is not quite accurate. We see a rather, steady increase instead. And this is a lot over the past 20 years. So it's not as if, the European Parliament wasn't right-wing at all, and now it's totally. It is a gradual increase. It's not, it's still dangerous, of course, and we now have about 24% of lawmakers from parties which we classify as far-right. But again, the term surge is maybe not quite accurate. Why do we see such an increase? Well, I would argue, first of all, on European elections, we generally see more far-right support. Why? Because people don't think that the elections matter so much, and they vote differently. They vote more brave. They vote, out of protest. They vote for parties that they maybe wouldn't vote otherwise. Also, we are in times of crisis. One crisis is coming after the other, and those populist parties, they find seemingly easy solutions to complex problems, and therefore many people turn to them.
OK, well, given the far-right's relative success in these EU elections, and we note not a surge, what are the implications for the EU's future policies and direction? Does it change anything?
Well, yes. First of all, even 24% is not enough to make decisions in the European Parliament, right? You would always need 50% plus one to make decisions, to shape decisions, but even to block them. So in that sense, they're far away from being a decisive factor. That being said, of course, they change the discourse within the Parliament, and they, might change the way that the mainstream parties behave, especially the European People Party, so the conservatives, right? The more MEPs they have sitting towards their right, the more they be inclined to find ad hoc agreement, ad hoc coalition on specific files, on, more conservative agenda files to the right, rather than what they usually do. Most decisions in the European Parliament are made between the Christian Democrats, the Social Democrats, and the Liberals. But, the more is on the right, the more they might be inclined to lean towards that.
It's easy, isn't it, to describe the far right in Europe as a cohesive whole. The truth is, it's fractured, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very fractured, absolutely. I mean, you see this in the current parliament. There have been two groups from at the far right end, and then there have been a big amount of MEPs that have not been in any of those groups. So in a sense, it's even three groups, and they are very, very. Let's say they all don't like migration, and they all, are either anti-EU or slightly EU skeptic. It varies, but I think these are probably the two threats, the two common themes of all of them. But then, they're very different when it comes to things. I think the most important dividing line between them is, are they pro-Russia or pro-Ukraine?
But when they get to the European Parliament, presumably after the summer holiday, how easy is it going to be for the far right to work together with those of a like mind?
Well, I don't think it will be so easy, and I think they will probably start working on this not only after summer, but right now. They will be sitting together and trying to build groups, because, the bigger the group, the more power they will get. So there is an incentive, of course, to work together. But, they try it every time at every election, and it never works. Right now, I even see three rather than two groups emerging with the AfD, the Alternative for Germany, that they have been kicked out of the far-right group, and they might be even able to establish a new one. So it's more, rather than unification, I rather see fragmentation in the right camp.
Sophia, good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on the programme. Sophia Russack from the Centre for European Policy Studies.